The beard coloring segment in the men's grooming market has really only been around for a few short decades, but in those short decades, there have been so many companies that come out and claim the easiest and the most natural and effective way to shave off years from a man's appearance. And it's true, a fully colored beard does make a man look younger. I mean, just look at this picture. But a lot of men out there have trouble with these products because they make a beard look colored. And as we all know, a beard shouldn't look colored, it should just be colored without anyone having to question it. That way it looks most natural. So today we here at Volt Grooming kind of want to give you some good tips on how to make your beard color or beard dye look more natural. So let's get into it. So let's jump into it by talking about probably the most common beard coloring product out there, which is beard dyes. Now, beard dyes have their benefits and their disadvantages, and what they do is they use certain chemical compounds to open up the protein layers in your hair follicle in order to stain the hair from the inside. The first benefit that beard dyes has is that it's permanent. You don't have to apply it all the time. That being said, there are many downfalls that you get for that benefit. The first one being they often use really harsh ingredients, things like PPD, ammonia, hydrogen peroxide, a lot of things that are considered general skin irritants. The other problem with beard dyes is that you can't really control too much the opacity of the color, which means that if you get a color that's even a little too dark or you leave the paste in a little too long before you wash it out, chances are you're going to be left with some color that looks less than natural, and you're going to be stuck with that color unless you decide to do the most frightening thing that any bearded guy can think of, which is shave their beard. And the reason beard dyes don't exactly look natural is because they often give you what's called a shoe polish looking beard. Your beard hair is very diverse. If you've ever taken a moment to actually get up close and personal with your beard and look at some of the individual hairs, you'll notice that they're not all the same color. For example, my hair is brown, but in my beard I get a lot of brown hair, a lot of red hair, and occasionally some really light kind of blonde hair. And it's this blend of hairs that's going to make your beard look natural because generally your beard tends to be lighter colored than your hair. Now, there are alternatives to beard dyes, which we will talk about, so if you're on the rocks about whether you like to use beard dyes or you're looking for something else or you want something maybe more natural, more skin safe or anything like that, we'll talk about that in a second. But if you do just rock solid decide to use beard dyes, here are some things that you can do to make it look more natural. The biggest thing when it comes to beard dyes is you're going to want to control the opacity. You don't want the paste and the solution in your beard that gives you the color and breaks into those hairs. You don't want that to sit too long because then the color is going to be too saturated. So the best thing that you can do, you might want to consider not leaving the beard solution on for too long, maybe even less than the recommended usage time, so it's not completely saturating your beard hair and make everything look too uniform. The other thing you might want to consider is to actually blend some hair conditioner in with the dye itself. What this will allow you to do is get more volume out of the dye if you happen to need it. Let's say you have a longer beard or something like that. But it'll also allow you to better control the saturation of the beard dye so it's not too intense after you apply it, because it'll dilute it with that hair conditioner. Now, what is the alternative to beard dyes that we're going to talk about? The first one and the biggest one out there is called temporary beard color. Now, this is what Volt is, and what that is essentially a beard tint or a beard coating and coloring, not a beard dye. So instead of penetrating the hair follicle and staining it from the inside, what we do here at Volt is create kind of a solution, a brush-on beard color that simply coats the hair and tints it so that it is completely removable and customizable. Now, there are going to be three main advantages of temporary beard color as opposed to beard dyes when it comes to giving you a more natural looking beard color. And that's going to be the opacity, the removability of it, and your ability to place that color exactly where you want. The big benefit to temporary beard colors is that you can control the opacity of it, which means that the less you brush on, the more your natural hair is going to still show through. And the more you brush on, the more you can actually coat the natural hair the way you want it. So you don't have to worry about everything being too uniform because you can control the opacity, which means at will you can get the salt and pepper look. You can just spot touch up a single part of your beard. You can actually go full coverage if you want to by brushing more of it on all over your beard. You can do pretty much anything. But let's talk about removability. Let's say you make a mistake, let's say you brush on a little too much in one area and not enough in another area, or let's say one side of your beard looks darker than the other side of your beard and you want to lighten it up over here. You can do that. You can do that with temporary beard color, but you can't do that with beard dyes. Now let's talk about placement. Typically in a man's beard, the first part that starts to go gray is around the chin area. That's the first place you'll really probably start to notice your grays creeping in. Now this is important because if you want a salt and pepper look and you want it to look natural, then perhaps you want to leave a little less coloring around the chin so that you still get that salt and pepper look, but it still looks like it's naturally graying where it should. So the good thing with Volt is you can control exactly where the color goes and exactly how prominent, how saturated that color can be. And once again, the last tip we have when it comes to temporary beard color, in terms of getting the most natural looking beard color, is try and find the shade that's right for you. Luckily, we here at Volt try and make it super easy to do that. A lot of times it just has to do with a lot of research and looking at pictures and comparing your own beard or your own hair color and seeing what you like. But here at Volt, we have a cool little quiz that I will link down in the description that you can take if you happen to be looking for a natural beard color that will show you which one out of our 11 different shades is going to be the perfect shade for you. So overall, like I mentioned before, the best way to make any kind of beard dye or temporary beard color out there on the market look the most natural is by controlling the opacity of the color, which will allow your natural hair color to show through just a little bit or as much as you want in order to get the kind of natural diversity and variation in your beard that causes it to look natural in the first place. This means either diluting your beard dyes or limiting the amount of time that the beard dye has to really saturate your hair, and it also means maybe with temporary beard color brushing on a little bit lighter so your natural hair color can show through and brushing in the right areas. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know in the comments just how these tips have worked out for you. These are the tips that we've come across that worked for most people out there. So let us know what your experience has been with them, and if you like this video, it would do us a big favor if you hit like and subscribe. That would be awesome. We're building a community here around men's grooming and health and pretty much lifestyle in general, and we're here to celebrate the confidence that men need in order to tackle everything that life throws at them. So thank you guys again for watching. I will see you in the next video.